Hello everyone, my name is Isaac Fry, Washington County Heartland Youth Coalition Director of the same, and today we're here with a wrap-up meeting and closing of the 2012-13 school year, and basically our fiscal year for the coalition as well, because we run concurrent with the school system. And so we're here today to talk about some of the things that the coalition is doing and some of the things that we're trying to get ready for the start of the new school year. And so I have the chairperson, Ms. Sheila Harrigan of the Washington County Heartland Youth Coalition, and then the coordinator and worker with our youth, director of our youth, Wilma Sorrell. So we're going to be sharing with you today some of the things that we are working on and for the current for the summer, and then how we're going to how things will shape up for the beginning of the new school year. So why don't we start off with Wilma? Why don't we start off with you and let you talk about some of the things that the kids will be coming up in June.
As you know, our RISE Youth have had a very, very active season this year and a very active school year. They've participated in some conferences, they've done some strategies in the community, and they've just been very, very busy. We appreciate all their hard work, and it's been a blessing to have them all in the youth group. But coming up in June the 18th and 19th, we have been invited by the Bluegrass Regional Prevention Center in Lexington to the Innovative Act Conference. And what that is our youth group is known statewide for their prevention strategies and to be such a good gelled group of young people that are interested in prevention. And they've been invited to do a presentation in front of law enforcement, other prevention specialists throughout the state and throughout that Bluegrass region. And what they're going to be talking about is underage drinking. As you know, we have a very high rate of underage drinking in Kentucky. I think it's just running rampant everywhere. And, you know, we don't mind if you're over 21 and you drink. That's not the issue. The issue is kids are not, and the youth know they're not fully developed yet, and they don't know how to handle alcohol. And the younger you drink, the more likelihood you have of becoming an alcoholic. So our youth have been doing strategies, and they're going to be talking about what they do in the community to educate others about underage drinking. So we just think it's an important thing for our kids to be doing in the community and as an outreach throughout the state on their strategies. So we're working on a PowerPoint right now, and some of the things we're going to be putting in the PowerPoint are not only dealing with underage drinking, which we do have posters and magnets to say, I won't be the one to lose a friend to underage drinking, but we also are doing the Drop It and Stop It campaign on prescription drug abuse. And this is one of the strategies that our youth will be talking about in Lexington, June the 18th and 19th. And we have magnets that went home as an environmental strategy with all the students in Washington County schools. This was paid for by Prevention for Success funds. And Washington County is unique to the state. Us, Marion, and Nelson County have drop boxes that look just like this in all 3 police stations in the counties, in Washington, Marion, and Nelson. And anyone anonymously can take their prescription, unused, expired prescription drugs to the police departments, drop them off, and the police departments each have their own incinerator. They will incinerate those drugs after being weighed. So that's one way that we thought as a coalition, and our RISE Youth thought that we could help stop the prescription drug abuse prescription drug abuse issues in Washington County. So, and if you do have medications in your cabinet that are for cancer or pain, be sure to lock those up, because you may not have someone in your immediate family that might take those, but you may have someone that comes into your home. You know, we've heard stories of realtors real estate people selling or looking at a home with a potential buyer, and they're actually a potential buyer looking for drugs. They go through the medicine cabinets. So be sure to remember, if you're selling your home or having people in there that you don't know that well, be sure to lock up those prescriptions. So we have these magnets that have went home on the last day of school with everyone. And if you want any more information, you can contact Sheila Hergen here at the House of Hope, or myself, or Isaac Fry at the Board of Education, and we can give you more information. Or if you're looking for a magnet, I have put those in several businesses and doctors' offices in the county. Isaac, I think you may want to speak about wrap up, or Sheila, you have some other things to discuss?
Well, one of the things that has always been real important is the fact that we want to educate the children, because they really are going to be the future of Washington County. And if they don't have the tools that they need to make good decisions now, how can we expect them to make good decisions when they're adults and faced with even harder things? One of the things that we have done, the Stop Prescription Drug Abuse, these posters, and I don't know if you can see this real well, but we're in partnership with not only the Springfield Police and the Washington County Sheriff's Department. This has got our Rise Youth logo on it, because our kids are extremely active in this campaign. These posters have been put up in all of the doctor's offices, and it's just got some great information on it. All right. Prescription drugs has become one of the leading problems, not just in our county, but in the state of Kentucky. And I think it's spreading across the whole United States. I have seen several campaigns and things where they talk about how the drug abusers and the sellers used to be these characters you would see standing on the street corners, and now, unfortunately, it's our children, and they're in our medicine cabinets. And we just think that we need to make everybody aware that that is a problem and something they need to be aware of. I'd also like to talk a little bit about some of the things that our kids have done this year. The Washington County Heartland Youth Coalition is all about reducing anything that is harmful to our kids, from substance abuse such as drugs, alcohol, but we've also started programs in the school of violence, Too Good for Drugs, Too Good for Violence, bullying. So we're really trying to be kind of that voice that the kids are hearing in their heads, instead of all the other voices that they're hearing from their friends and companions. We want to be that voice that says, oh, wait a minute, I remember hearing about this in school. We are doing Kick Butts Day. We did that just not too long ago, which is Stop Smoking. So we've really tried to be very comprehensive in what we've done.
Yeah, good. Well, we've done a number of programs and activities and events in the coalition, and of course it's important to do different kinds of strategies, whether it be in the advertisement arena, media, social media, to keep those kinds of things going and in the forefront and in the minds of the people within the community. Our young people are our most valuable resource, we feel, and in order to preserve our resource, we have to protect them and reach out to the community and get them involved from all arenas, all areas of our community, whether it be law enforcement and media or government. We have to take advantage of every arena we can in order to maintain this. And of course, when we start talking about that, we're talking about sustainability. And when we talk about sustainability, we're saying, asking the question, how do we, as coalition leaders, how do we maintain our effort? How do we keep this going? How do we come up with the funds and make sure that once we do receive those funds, that we utilize them in such a way that we get the most bang for our dollar. So we're now in a period of time, and I guess we would say a period of transition, going from a Drug-Free Communities grant that will actually end in September 30th, and then we'll no longer have those grant funds. So where are we going to obtain new funding? So that's my job right now, working with the coalition, trying to obtain new funding, maintaining and make sure that we spend our funds in the proper way, bringing everyone in the coalition together, trying to keep the message open, trying to keep everything open and above board so that everybody knows what's going on with the current funding that we have. If we do new fundraising projects, how we're going to utilize those funds, storage of materials that we already have. What are we going to do with those things? And so right now during the summer, that's what we're going to be working on is with the coalition leaders, with Sheila and Dana and Wilma and myself and Kathy Carrico. So yes, right now we have things going. As Wilma's pointed out, in the summer, later on in June, we have another conference coming up that will be taking place down at University of Louisville campus. Why don't you tell them about that as well and how that came about, Wilma?
I received a phone call from a Passport representative, and they are having a conference for youth, high school youth, grades 9 through 12. And this conference brings youth together from all over the state, and they will actually be working on strategies that they can bring back to their community, and they will have a whole year to implement the strategies they come up with. Well, they wanted our group there because our group's already doing this. A lot of youth are not doing these type of things, and they wanted our youth there to kind of help guide the direction and to help with these strategies that we're already doing here in Washington County. Like I said, Washington County is very unique. I don't see a lot of youth groups in the other parts of the state doing, or many youth groups doing the same things that we do with our youth here. So it's really exciting, but a little scary at the same time, knowing that our grant's ending. So we just have to have that leadership to keep these kids focused and keep them moving forward in the right direction as well. So this, hopefully, in the next year, this grant or this project that the kids are going to be going on June the 23rd through the 27th at U of L campus, they'll learn some things on themselves on how to keep their youth group moving forward and sustaining that. So that's going to be one of our big strategies for this conference coming up in June, the end of June. So
in the month of July, Sheila, I don't think we'll have a meeting.
No, we're taking off the month of July. There's so many vacations, and family time is just as important as everything else that we do. So we won't meet again until August, and then we'll pick up for the new school year, hopefully with some new programs and new ideas. The kids are going to come back with some new things that we're always willing to implement in our community. We really do have a very forward-thinking, progressive youth group. I have been really impressed with how much our kids give back to the community. And they're always willing to go to these conferences and learn.
And not only do they work with the Rise Youth, but our group comes to us, our youth comes to us and say, do you all have something else we can work on for a project? They get bored real easy. So we like to keep them engaged, not just for the coalition. They may come and help at the House of Hope and work with teen pregnancy groups, or they may go and do something for the Family Resource Center. Tonight we're having a bunco to raise money for Relay for Life at Washington County Middle School, and I've already got Rise Youth that are going to come up and help with that. So, you know, our group's not just involved in prevention. They're involved in so many other things in the community. They help Roberta Hunt with the Extension Office and part of that group. So, you know, like I said, our group, and Sheila and Isaac has said, our group and our community is so unique that we don't have a movie theater, we don't have a bowling alley, we don't have all this stuff, but we do have things for our kids to do to keep them safe and to keep them thinking that, you know, we have to learn to keep ourselves safe as well and use strategies that keep ourselves straight and safe. And so it's nice, and I think that's why our testing scores here at Washington County may reflect that as well, because if our kids are thinking, you know, well, if I take that drug, then I'll still be okay. But our kids here, I think a lot of our kids here go, well, if I drink and I'm underage, then that could affect my testing scores. That could affect me going to college. If I get a DUI, that could affect what college I get into, if I even get to go. You know, if I get addicted to prescription drugs, it's going to change my whole goals. I'm not going to have those higher goals that I would like to have. So that's why we know this is important, because it goes hand in hand with what the schools are doing to keep the students focused on grades and doing better after school. Whether it's college, vocational, or getting a job, we know that the local industry here in this community and outreaching says that their number one problem on hiring is they can't keep people drug-free from prescription drug abuse. You know,
or they can't pass the
drug test
to even get employed.
So we know if we teach them at this age that that's happening in these places of employment, we have a greater risk of our youth succeeding. So that it's just important that we teach those lessons and teach them wisely and teach them, I think, be proactive in teaching those lessons.
Yeah, and it's important that we keep the what they call the developmental assets or the strengths of the community going, and that's just an outreach of, or let's say an inreach from the community to the child. Caring members, caring citizens, caring leaders, showing that care toward the youth by involving them, by recognizing them within various arenas of the community, and taking actual part in their lives, and that helps a child to stay focused, helps a child to maintain self-worth and self-esteem, and gives them hope for a future, and gives them direction, and knowing that they have caring people alongside them. Hey, that if I fall, I got somebody to help pick me up, or somebody to help keep me from falling. So that's important, and that's why it's important to keep our coalition going, because through the coalition we're keeping the community aware of the various things that you can do out there to help our young people stay free, drug-free, stay safe in the community. A lot of tragic things happen over a course of a year, and it's not a good thing to hear of the loss of life of any age. But when it seems like such a loss when a young person dies from a careless for something that's taken their life and made it short because they got involved with a substance abuse problem, or if they are addicted, become addicted to a substance. Things that happen to that young person, almost irreversible at times if we don't catch them in time. So it's important for us as adults, as leaders in our community, to keep that link with our youth, make that link stronger, and let's build things around them to safeguard our young people, whether it be in the school, whether it be in the churches, whether it be on the football field, sports fields of any kind. All of these things are important. Keep our young people involved, just like Wilma was saying about how our young people will be involved with the Bunco. That's an important strategy, because they're involved, and they're not only being involved with other youth, but they're being involved with adults. Well, that's real world, that's real life situations. And so the more of those kinds of things we can keep going, the better and stronger our young people will be here in Washington County. We appreciate your time and giving your attention to us today. You can contact us, Wilma Sorrell or Isaac Fry, at the Washington County Board of Education. The telephone number there is 859-336-5470. Sheila Harrigan here at the House of Hope, you can contact her. You can give her information if you will.
My phone number is 859-336-0140.